Hello everyone and welcome back to the ALO Gaming channel to Let's Make a Sci-Fi RPG. In the previous video we went through 3 of my recordings, of my 30 plus recordings for this particular project, and we just kind of went through the level design process. So where I was just I got the assets and I just duplicated them and I laid out what the level was going to be. We created the whole level and then we were trying to get the door to animate. Now, I did say that I had to fix that in college. There was a problem I was having that all my doors, this little tick box static was ticked. I'd never noticed that before. I didn't know what it did. It meant that the doors couldn't move, so they weren't going to open. I was also having a problem with the script. Because obviously I would have addressed that in college as well, so I can't remember exactly what the problem with that was, but we've done a little bit in college, so there's a bit of a gap between where we finished in the last episode and what we're going to do here. What we're going to do here is we're going to start getting some kind of gameplay features working. So I said in the last video the idea for this was the ship has been damaged, it's been boarded, the engine's going to blow up, you need to fix it by collecting these components. So this is the component you have to collect, so I'm going to make this collectible. We're going to put in just a very basic placeholder UI, a counter to say how many you have collected, because you're going to be told you need to collect 3. You need to collect 3 in order to unlock the airlock door to get out. That is the basic aim of this level. Collect 3 of these things, killing the enemies in the way, get them down to engineering, replace them, get back up to the airlock, and leave. That's the goal. In this video, what I'm setting up is that you'll be able to collect these. It will increase the counter. And once the counter hits 3, the airlock door will unlock. That will be changed when I implement the you have to go to engineering and replace them kind of aspect of the game. But I'm just trying to build up the gameplay as much as possible and test it out to make sure that things are working. So once I know that this bit works, then I can move on to the next bit. It's an iterative process. You got to get it, build it step by step. You can't just kind of make everything work at once. Like I've said it before, there's so much to do that sometimes it does get overwhelming, and it is a good idea to keep notes, which I have not done, or have a to-do list. Because right now I think I've got the player in and the player animated and moving. I've got the doors opening. I'm not sure if I've got the lift working yet, which is probably why I'm not dealing with going down to engineering yet. So just putting in a little light here. Green is good. So you want to find the things that have the green light and pick them up. So that's just what we're doing here. And then once I have this, I can duplicate this. Once this is collectible, I can duplicate it as many times as I want, put it around the level as many times as I want, and I can even increase the amount of things that you have to collect. So I'm just trying to make it look like this little piece of equipment here is glowing. I'm just going to increase the intensity just to get a bit of a... Not quite what I want, but hey. Doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, it's not a first-person game, so you're not gonna... You're not going to get that close to it. It's third person, so you're only going to get as close to it as, over the shoulder kind of action. So it's not too bad. Sorry, just checking my phone. I said in the last video, I'm trying to record chunks of these videos as much as I can to catch up to where I'm at and get ahead of myself a little bit. So I said in the last video that we got an email today to say that the final build for this particular project is due on the 12th of May. And there's just a little bit of panicking going on in Discord with my group. Just kind of going, what are we supposed to do? So just kind of sharing stuff with them and kind of just trying to figure out what we have to do and then help them know what we have to do, that kind of stuff. So another reason I kind of want to catch up on this particular project videos, because I'm going to be recording live stuff because I need to get it finished, which means I'm going to have to record that. And I know as soon as I record it, because I'll be recording it and it'll be me recording stuff while I'm working as opposed to looking back on videos, I'll want to post it right away. because I want to get to that point with these videos and with this channel of having me actually working in real time and recording myself while I'm working. So it's easier to explain what I'm doing rather than having to look back and try and figure out what I was thinking and what I was doing. Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up on all these videos so that when I get to that one, when I do start working, I'll be able to upload it sooner. Maybe I'll be able to force myself to delay on uploading it immediately. So right here, we're just trying to, the suitcase, there's the light. Now we need, so there's a sphere collider. That is a trigger. So it's, we're going to have it that if the player enters that trigger, then he's going to pick this up. Which will be basically deactivate this game component, then access the player script and increase or access wherever I put the the text, basically the counter, power conduit counter, wherever I put that, we're going to increment that number so that it starts at 0. Then if you pick up 1, it goes to 1. If you pick up another one, it goes to 2, and if you pick up the third one, it goes to 3. I mean, who would have thought it? Shocking. Shocking. I did say in the last video that I was going to try and take some pictures of my maps that I drew for this level, because I, even though I haven't done to-do lists, I have done some drawings, so it's not great quality on the camera. The thing is, because it was lightly drawn in pencil, even taking pictures of it, it didn't turn up great. So I ended up not putting them on the video. So I apologize for that, but at least you know that I was doing that. I am, what am I doing? I am waiting for Visual Studios to open. Okay. Right, so we're going to do, an on-trigger enter. If the player enters the trigger, we're going to set this game object to false. So we're going to turn it off so that it'll look like you picked it up. Not that it will look like you've animatedly picked it up. We're not going to do that. It will just, disappear. Now we need to create another script. I do end up with a lot of scripts in this project, more scripts than I've had in any other project, and bigger scripts as well. So this was, I keep saying, my most ambitious project to date, and it is still, because I haven't finished it. It's not going to be finished by the 12th. It will be at a point where I can hand it up and get the results. I can hit all the criteria for the assignment. I mean, I've already hit all the criteria for the assignment, so I can hand it up as it is and get that. But it won't be it won't have all the stuff that I want in it. But I can work on it over the summer and keep working on trying to add to it. And I think that'll be an interesting, because it is an interesting project to do, because there's a lot in it. So there's a lot that I can learn. So I'm saying, like, let's build a sci-fi RPG, but there's no RPG elements in it yet. It's this, at the minute, it's more a sci-fi shooter, third-person shooter, and there won't be RPG elements in it. And when level up, your stats have to increase, so you need to keep track of your stats and then increase them, and special abilities and all that kind of stuff. So implementing RPG mechanics is very difficult and time consuming, but we'll get to that. So that's why I think this is a very interesting project to be doing, as well as I can add in more effects, and I can create other levels. I could create more decks to the ship. I could create an exterior. I can create more, there's so much I can do with it. So this could be a great all round, just everything I learn I can eventually end up putting into this project, or using this project to practice more and more stuff that I'm learning. So I hope you enjoy it. I mean, I'm enjoying doing it. So this I was creating a level controller there while I was rambling. Basically, the level controller is keeping track of the power conduits, of how many you've collected. So I would assume I put in dot conduit count. If I had been looking at what I typed in the level controller script, I would be able to tell you, I would assume if I made a conduit count, which I know I do eventually, if I made it private, then it's not going to turn up here. Also, if I want the power conduit to access the level controller script, I need to reference it. So let's take level controller public int conduit count is equal to 0. Okay, so that is public. Yeah, well then I'll need to access the level controller. So if I want to do it in power controller, I would need to up here in power conduit, I would need to put in a public level controller or whatever this script is named. So that's how you access a script. Power conduit, and then I would be able to say down here level controller dot conduit count plus plus, which is the same. Like if you say plus plus, it's the same as saying plus 1. It just increments it by 1. Just a little short. I say shorthand. I mean saying plus 1 and plus plus. It's the same number of things that you have to put down. But there you go. So I'm just gonna obviously taking some time to figure this out. Back in the power conduit. Still haven't figured it out. Probably, I mean, that is the correct line of code, but I need to access the level controller for it to work. So I'm back here, and what am I going to do? I'm going to hierarchy, still a mess. I swear I made it better. Where are we? We're creating an empty game object. This is probably going to be my level controller. Yeah, level controller, level. I'm going to add the script onto it. I appear to be waiting for something in the script. A conduit count, perhaps. Level controller, public static int. I made it static. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me to explain static. It's a thing. I don't know. It's something like it doesn't. That the script that it's in doesn't change it, but it can be changed by other scripts or some. I don't know. If anybody knows, comment below and just refresh my memory. It has been explained to me. It escapes me at the minute. And this is why you want to keep your hierarchy tidy, because if you're looking for something, it makes it so difficult. So, where are we at here? The lift. Why am I in the lift? I've got a canvas. I am going to need to create just a little text here. For the lift, I'm assuming if that script is already on the lift, so the lift is implemented and animated, then what I would have done, which I have not recorded, is there is a trigger in the lift, and when you go inside that trigger, a little text pops up on screen saying press space to activate lift. And then if you're in that trigger and you press space, the lift will go down. And then when you leave the trigger, the text disappears. And I did some stuff so that, if it's at the bottom, when you're hitting space, it goes up, and if it's at the top, when you're hitting space, it goes down. So I'm faffing about. Got a level controller, got a lift canvas, cargo by door. Really need to sort this out. It's because I've added in a lot more objects. So cargo, props. So all the cylinders and the boxes for the cargo is just going into cargo props. Metal boxes, all that kind of stuff, just into cargo props. And collapse that down. That makes it a little bit better. There's a lot more stuff. support rails and stuff. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to take those cylinders and drag them down. So this is just me tidying up environment props. So this is just me tidying up the hierarchy to make things easier to find. Take all that stuff. There we go. So just try and get everything and stuff that I don't need deleting. Chamber floor. Just gonna make sure. Okay. So I've also gotten some weapons and added some weapons in here. These weapons also came with the sci-fi pack that everything else came with. So I just dragged some of them in and put them onto my weapon wall. I will also be downloading some weapon assets and adding more in. Because that is more like a minigun, and the armed animation I could find didn't have any kind of animation that looked like it was holding that kind of weapon. It was more of a rifle. So I had to find some rifles that I brought in. Am I still just tidying up? Just get rid of all the walls, yeah. I'm just checking what's this. I'm checking where they are, and then also making sure that I've deleted all the stuff that I had outside, because in the last video you would have seen that I'd laid out every single asset outside of the level so I could look and see what I had to work with, and then I would just duplicate them as I needed them and drag and drop them into place. But that was all in the hierarchy as well, so that would have been taking up time. So I'm still just tidying up the hierarchy, getting all the doors sorted. We don't need to see this. This is all, okay, here we go. This is where I start doing some work. I'm going to go back so that we can actually see what I do. Go back a little bit more. Here we go. So we're going to create a UI canvas. Okay, so we're going to call this level canvas. That's handy. So this will be used for the conduit count and health. I could also use it for ammo or energy or anything else that I want. I can't drag that. What am I trying to do? Oh, screen space camera. So I got to drag the main camera in. So it's going to overlay over the camera on the screen. But you need to drag the camera in. You need to drag the main camera in. There we go. Main camera dragged in. Perfect. So on the level canvas. So there's still a lot more stuff I can tidy up in the hierarchy, but it's a lot better than it was. So that's good. Working tidy is always good. So we're going to add some text, and the text is going to say, I would assume conduit count, because that's what I'm trying to get. Power conduits. Okay, conduits. I was close. And just name this in case I have any other text. So that's power conduit text, so I know that one is. So I don't get confused, and we're going to anchor it to the top left of the screen. If you have your game view open at the same time, you can see how this is looking on the game view. I assume I have mine open on my tablet so that I'm looking back and forth between them. When I'm actually recording, I will have my game view on the screen. I think I set up a layout in Unity for recording, so that would have everything I need kind of here. Because normally if I'm doing like the visual effects graph, I'll have the graph on one screen, and my scene like this, my monitor would have this setup, and anything extra that I need would be on the tablet. But if I'm recording and working in visual effects graph, you'll need to see the graph. So I think I've set up either a recording one or a VFX. I've set up some layouts anyway. Not important, which it means that when I get to live recording stuff while I'm working, you will be able to see everything that I can see, with the exception of OBS, which you don't need to see. For a second there, I thought it was my game view on my monitor, on my tablet. It's just the recording of this monitor on OBS. So we're going to mess with some settings, scale it with screen size. So we're just going to, the reference for the screen size will be 1080 by 1080. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this. without being able to see the game view. I'm not entirely sure what difference this is making. I just know that I'm doing this to make the text look better. I'm making the text green because the power conduit light is green, anchored to the top left, so that if we scaled the screen or it was a different size, it would kind of be in the same place, no matter what your resolution was. Is resolution the right word? Aspect ratio. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Although, is that the same as resolution? I don't know. So just change the position, get it where I want it, keeping an eye on where it is appearing in the game view. So that's why I'm just trying to get it so that when we play it, we can see it kind of roughly there-ish is kind of probably where I want. So where my current mouse pointer is, this kind of area. So we go to the level controller. It's got a static int for conduit count. It's going to need, so we're going to add the canvas to the level controller. For that, we need to be using Unity engine.ui. Using Unity engine. Using Unity engine.ui. So that we can access some UI components. So we're going to need a public canvas. Use a public canvas. That'll work. Calling level canvas. So I'll be able to assign that in the inspector, and I will need to. What will I need to do? Go to what do I need to do? So let's think about this. What do I need? I need, if the level canvas is controlling. Okay. So here we're going level controller dot. Interesting that. I'm making this static as well. I don't know why. I don't know why. Is making it static make it appear here? Level controller dot. It is making it appear there. Okay, so that's why. Then so I'm doing it all through the power conduit. So then the power conduit would probably need to use UI. Use Unity engine.ui, and then we would need to set the text to. We're going to change that to text. Okay. Just trying to mess around with this. It's been a while since I've done UI stuff. In fact, I don't think I've really done this kind of UI stuff since last year. Like trying to get stuff appearing on the screen. This year was more just, getting small prototypes working, and we didn't really need to have UI for them. So it'd be interesting to see. Level dot power conduits. I'm just trying to remember myself. It's another case of knowing all the right words, but not entirely sure. I would need to. So I've got the text there. So I need to access the text in the canvas, then set the text to conduit count. What's the one? So if and the power conduit has an int. No, it doesn't. The level controller has the int. So I need to get that int, that integer. So I basically need to set the text to be the name, so like power conduits, and then add in the number, the int, for the conduit count in the level controller. That's what I need to do for the text. Yeah, so like this kind of thing. So you're saying level controller, power conduits, power conduits plus conduit count. It's not quite working. I feel like I'm going to Google something here. I was going to do something there. Just, I don't know. White screen. So what am I doing here? Using unityengine.ui. Okay, see if that makes any difference. Change it to a string. No, that's not working. Massive error there. That's because I can't. I'm basically trying to say that level controller power conduit is equal to itself plus something else. So I was just trying to. How do I get through it? Public static text power conduits. I feel like when the past me mouse is doing this, like it was a second ago, it's trying to tell present me to pay attention. But power conduits, why am I paying attention? Power conduits, void update. I say power conduits, so that's the text, which is equal to is equal, I'm assuming I'm off Googling, power conduits, is equal to power conduits plus conduit count, to string. You can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this so that the text shows up with this number, and then this number gets updated in the power conduits when you actually collect them. That's what I'm trying to get it to work. And I've done a lot of Googling, a lot of switching between the two scripts because I know it's something to do with these two. I know what I'm trying to do, I just don't know how to do it. Level controller.power conduits plus. No, it's equal to. I'm just going to say it's equal to power conduits, which is already a string, plus conduit count. That looks better. Plus, it would have to be level controller.conduit count. Conduit count. Dot to string? Don't know. Does this need to be in brackets? Does that need to be dot to string? And then put a no. I feel like we're getting closer. This seems to be more like what I want to do. I want to say that the text is equal to this, because that's the name of it, as a string plus the number. That seems kind of, because we've just increased the number by 1 here. So then we want to update the text to show that. UI. Another element of game dev that just sometimes takes time. So we're back in Unity. Looking at my level canvas. Looking at loads of stuff. Check out the suitcase. Which has a power conduit script. Okay. We're just going to name suitcase power conduit so it's easier to find. It's got the power conduit script on it, so that's good. So we're going to go back to the script and see if I can figure it out, because it is a problem with the script. I'm going to do a public, so we're in the power conduit public text So I'm going to add the text to the power conduit. Okay. Interesting idea. Not sure how well it will work. I'm just gonna. Oh, and we're back. Just checking. I mean, I go back to Unity for no reason. Let me just define the name. Public game object level canvas. And the level controller. So the level controller is the empty game object. We've got the level canvas that has the text on it. So if conduit count is greater than or equal to 0, level canvas dot get. Let's see if this works. Get component in children. Get the text component. There will be a text component on it, but not in the children. The text component will be on the level controller. Unless the canvas, I don't know. Unless the canvas is a child of the, but then we're dropping the canvas in. Interesting. I'm trying many different things. And I honestly can't remember how I got this to work. String text is equal to. No, it's not like in any of this. Just a variable text var. Key value, no. Var. This is one of those videos where I don't know what I'm doing, so I end up going back and forward, and I must have Google and YouTube open on another monitor and looking stuff up on my phone and just trying to desperately figure it out. You notice I haven't even tested it yet because I know that I haven't set up the code properly. I was getting an error there saying it was expecting a semicolon after that, but because that line of code wasn't going to work, I've got a level controller, which is now looking for a level canvas. So I can take in the canvas. So I put in the text in there. So that's the text component. Text component says power conduits, right? Okay. Yep, I see you. I see what you're doing. Power conduits. Let's go back to my script. Okay. So now I've assigned this. I've dropped the text component in. So I can now say level canvas is equal to, it's never really gonna plus conduit count dot toString. No dot toString. Let's try everything. Dot toString. No. It's a good thing I'm a persistent son of a bitch. This video it's been going for 55 minutes. There's an hour and 23 minutes left. Let's hope it's not all me just trying to figure this out, and I don't think it is. What do I try next? I'm off googling for quite a bit, or maybe I'm just taking a break because I can't stand it anymore. Okay, we're back. just do nothing here. Okay, we'll just go straight back. Level canvas equals 1. Level canvas dot get component text dot text. Yeah, that makes sense to me now. And then we're going to say it's equal to power conduits plus conduit count, and that should work. Conduit count dot toString. That should work. Should that work? Because that is an int. Conduit count dot toString. Dot toString. Bracket. Semicolon. That seems to work. Yep. That makes sense. And I will tell you why that makes sense before we move on to anything else. So I'm getting the components. So we just say that GameObject.get component or level controller.get component text is getting this. So this text box, the dot text is accessing this, and then I can say it equals and whatever I put in that string. So I just basically made it the same. I could have changed what this said then there, plus the conduit count as a string. So that should work. So when we play, we should see it work. If you pick up the conduit, it will work. And there's so much going on in this game that every time I hit play, it takes a while. Excuse me. So we've got, here's the camera preview. A little shadowy head of the player that I eventually finished sculpting. Eventually you'll get to see him in all his dickheady glory. So we're making sure that it appears in the game. Speeds Grace camera. Just want to make sure that it appears in the camera. Obviously I'm looking at the game view past me is seeing where it appears. I could just, because I did place the text, I did move the position of the text. I could just do that instead of messing with the distances of the camera. Excuse me. Oh, that was me moving. Okay. Debug.log. So the trigger worked. The door opens. We can't see anything happening. Here we go. Let's go here. And we're going to have a look. What are we looking for? We're looking for distance 0.1. It's very annoying that I don't know what this is doing because I can't see it. There's an open bottom door for some reason. That is a problem with the animator. Just gonna close it. Just close it. That's fine. Yeah. We won't worry about that. It's an issue for another day. Where are we at now? Okay. Now I found another problem and I've got to fix it. Yeah. There's a gap in that door. What am I doing? Where am I? I'm here. Okay. I'm gonna go in, check the door. Oh, excuse me. And just make sure that there's no gap. Make sure there's no gap. Just fix the gap. There we go. I don't necessarily need to no, I don't know what happened there. Because I can't be doing anything with the animator by like ticking the booleans to test the animation. unless I had the animation window open on my other monitor and I was clicking play on the actual animation, that would have made it play. It shouldn't be looped. Anyway, back to the level canvas. Possibly armory door. What am I going to try and do? We've got some weapons, fridge, an assets door. We're going to go to the assets store. Cool. So I'm guessing, we're going to just look at, so this is just me. Just find some weapons, just download them, import them. I'm guessing when I played it, even though we didn't see it because the game view was on a different monitor, that I did pick up a conduit and it worked. And that's why I'm now moving on to the next thing. The conduit count would have went up. So now I'm filling out this room. So I'm going to fill out the other 2 cargo bays, put in the other 2 things that I need to pick up, and then check that. So this is going to be basically, it's more level design, level layout. I don't have sketches for these. I just know that it's going to be all the cargo props. So there's some crates and some cylinders, and this is the thing. The briefcase that I want to collect. So I've duplicated that with the light and the script. So that will be fine. So we're just going to script through this because it is just going to be drag and drop, and duplicate. So we're just going to kind of hide it behind some crates so that when you walk in, it's not immediately visible. And just kind of lay this out to look like there's some kind of cargo in here, and they're just storing stuff, and pretty cool. And same for the second one. This is the other cargo bay. So probably gone for smoke here, so that's another little long smoke. Okay, we'll just scrub through this. I'm just conscious of time. I want to get to the end of this video within my time frame for this recording, if that makes sense. So, because I've been recording for 41 minutes, and there was an hour and a half left on this, but now there's only half an hour, so I think we'll be all right. So just kind of for time. So basically, we're filling out the last cargo bay, so that we're going to have some crates in it. So you've got to come in here and you got to find out where the power conduit is in here. So we're going to hide it in here somewhere. I'm just going to put it in on top of one of these crates. So when you come in the door, it's not immediately visible behind all these crates. You've got to come around, just make it a little bit more interesting. So it's not just. I mean, we'll see what I do in the engineering. Like when I implement the power conduits and engineering thing, I get really lazy with it, and I just literally have the 3 of them on the back wall, or on the ground by the back wall, and you just walk in. But I will fix that when I get to the laying out the props for engineering and finishing off the look of the level. So we're just going to bring this in so you can see the open thingamajigga. Rotate, just little set dressing things for design. We've got the doors, and hopefully, and then we're going to add the weapons that I just downloaded. Nice purple weapon, because the material, I think it's either an issue with 2019 Plus or with the HD render pipeline, where importing certain assets, the materials don't come in properly with it, so you got to kind of re-embed them or re-extract them or reapply them. So I'm just going to place some rifles on the wall, and again, rotate them, scale them so that they're an appropriate size, and try and get the texture fixed on it. So if anybody knows why when I'm moving around in the scene view that this cuts out, or if there's any way to fix it, let me know in the comments below, because I've not figured that out yet, and it is quite annoying if you're trying to get up close to an object and it suddenly just starts clipping through the camera. Because it's not even really the camera, it's not the main camera, so it's the scene camera? Is that a thing? Is that something I can fix in the project settings or the like preferences, or I don't know. If anybody knows, please let me know, because it would be a great help. So we can see that the shader that it's using is not working correctly. So I'm going to try and fix this. So I'm making it HDRP. So I'm sending them to the materials to HDRP shaders so that they should work better. And then just HDRP. Don't really know which ones I'm picking, but seems to work. HDRP Autodesk Interactive. So again, not quite sure why that worked, but it worked. So we've got a weapon. I'm just rotating the magazine there, so I've got to be careful to take the whole object, rotate it, and I'm going to just place them on the walls. On the wall, so that you can come in and pick one up and shoot loads of enemies eventually. And we're getting close to that, and we will be using particle effects for lasers and stuff. It gets kind of cool. So this, some cylinders. So it's getting there. These boxes have lights on them already. I'm going to just take advantage of that because why not? We'll just add a little. I'm just going to see what it looks like because I've no lights in the scene at all yet. None of my own lights. So everything's quite dark. And I want it to be dark because the ship is obviously damaged, and you need to be able to get in. I'm just going to have a look. I like it. Lights are cool. So I might add that into all of these crates so that they all have these lights on them, so that even if it's a dim light in the cargo bay, you've got this kind of ambient lighting coming from the crates, and it might look cool. I've not tried it with all the crates yet, and I haven't set up the lighting even yet. That's going to be towards the end once I have everything else working and everything else in place, because that will affect how I want the scene to be lit and the different rooms to be lit, because you got to take advantage of the stuff that's in them, so the props that you have in them. So sick bay will be lit differently to the science lab, which will be lit differently to the cargo bays, which will be lit differently to the bridge, engineering, and all that kind of stuff. So once I have it all filled out and every object in place, I can then light it and see how I want it to look. So we're just going to mess with some lights, just add in some more guns just to fill out this wall. I mean, it's a bit generous to call this an armory. Just a cargo bay that has weapons on the wall, just in case, close to the airlock, just in case you need to. Oh, I could have made it an armory that had like armor and stuff. So it could have been like had the what do you call those suits that they wear? The space suits, not the hazmat suits, the EVA suits. For going out into the airlock and that. We can just say that's what the boxes are full of. The canisters are all like air, and the boxes are full of those suits. And then you got some weapons just in case you need them. Done. So what are we going to do? Oh, yes. The airlock door needs to be unlocked when you have 3 power conduits. We said that at the start. So I'm going to add a script onto it. And take the door, all kinds of strangey stuff. What am I doing? Just moving it. I don't know why I'm moving it. Yeah, so we're going to put in a sphere collider that we're going to make a trigger that will only work when you have 3 conduits collected. And we'll get that. This shouldn't take too long, so animate it. Airlock inner door, so we're going to create its own animation component, animator controller, which I have down here, and we will see. So in the last video we saw me try and do this, and got some done. So we've got the animation window up here. We've got the animator window here. Seems like we've already got some animations in it. This is cargo bay door. Oh, this is the cargo bay door animation. So I need to make sure I'm on the right door. So the airlock inner door. We're going to put on the animator controller that we just created for it. And then we're going to save some new animations in my animation folder. And it's going to be called, which is called airlock inner door idle. And so I've had a lot more practice animating doors now. So this is the way to do it. So you hit record, go back to your door, I've actually got the door, so that's fine. Go to the top door. We're going to add. I really should have that somewhere else. I've had so much experience. So, airlock inner door idle. We're gonna hit record. If I was smart, I'd lock this. I'm gonna add a position key. So where it is now, while it's closed, and on the bottom, same thing. So the bottom door, we're gonna add a key, and this is it. This is its idle. I'm gonna stop recording. That's saved. So that's its idle state, where those are both closed and touching. So then we're gonna go to the open, and we're gonna create an animation for that. So we're gonna copy this value for the Y. For the we're going to copy one of the values. Copy one of them. And I've stopped. Why have I stopped? Come on. Here we go. We're going to copy one of them. We're going to hit record. We are going to add a key on the bottom door, a key for the top door so that they're closed, and then go to 5 seconds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open the top door, and we're going to open the bottom door. And that should have, go back to my animation window. It has saved those keys, so I can stop that. So that's the door opening. So we can check that out now. Yep. That is the door opening. And then for the door closing, we will start them out open, and then I will paste in the value that I copied from one of them, and then just drag the other one up to meet it, I guess. Oh no, they have the same. No, they don't. Do they? They have the same Y value, or do they? So we've set a key for when they're open, and we're gonna paste in that value, and then go to the bottom door. Paste in that value. Oh, they do, yeah. Oh no, I wrote it down. That's what I did. I remember this now. I wrote it down. I might have wrote it down wrong. Or I typed it in wrong. Yeah, 0.07. There we go. So that's that position. So now you've got the doors closing, and that is how the better way to animate them. And then we'll set up the animator controller. So we'll set the transitions and the parameters. So we'll set the boolean so that it opens when the trigger. Well, yeah, you know, we've done stuff. We've done stuff like this before. So open and closed. Make a transition. We don't want exit time. And we don't want it to loop. So I hope I have looping turned off in these animations. You could leave exit time on, because it's not like it really matters. If you happened to get out of the trigger while they were half open, then they would close again, and I think that's fine. They wouldn't continue opening and then close. And we don't want them to loop, because then they just kind of come back. Q. We're almost there. Q. Animate. So we'll add the animated component to the door. Main door controller script. This is not what we want. It's going to have its own script. Public static bool. Oh, I guess we can use the same thing. We'll just add bool to it. Okay, that's cool. So this is the level controller we're doing. So we're doing a bool. Mission complete. Which obviously starts off as false. So that means the door is locked at the start, and then in update we can say if mission complete, if conduit count is equal to 3, so if you've collected 3, then mission complete is equal to true. Which means that I can access that to then say, for the airlock door, if mission complete is true, then you can, then the trigger will recognize the player colliding with it. So we're doing the main door controller. This is how the script should have looked. I was having issues in the last video with this. So if the player, the friendly or enemy enters it, anim.set pool open to true, anim.set pool closed to false. With just the animator in it, and on trigger exit, close them. So that's basically the same script. So I think the issue I was having in the last video is that they were all ticked with static, so they weren't going to work anyway. So if level controller.mission complete is equal to true, if I use this, it's going to lock every single door, which is why I think I have to have a separate script for the airlock door. And hopefully I understand that. Or I can do that. Smart. Because it's basically the exact same lines of code with just an if statement. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to create a new script for the airlock door. And then I'm going to paste that code in and then just add the if statement so that it works. I assume scripts, right click, create C# script, call it airlock inner door, airlock open, airlock inner door. Cool. And then we're going to open that. Visual Studio, this just takes a little bit. Oh, never mind. There we go. Airlock inner door. So we're going to just take all this and replace it with the script that I copied. So paste that in, Control V. It's all there. The only thing is, it's not that it really matters right now. I don't necessarily need friendly or enemy for this. So you don't want them to be able to get through. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. So if level controller.mission complete is equal to true, then you open the door. And then when you leave the trigger, it will close. So it will close behind you, regardless of, because it can only close if it's been opened. So this doesn't actually need to have that if statement, but this needs to be here for it to open. So you need to collect your triggers, your conduits, before you can open the airlock door. So we're going to test this. Hopefully test it and test it with the game view on this monitor so that OBS can record it. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a bummer. I'm going to add on the airlock indoor script. It needs an animate. Okay. Looked like I was dragging something on. Oh, might be taking a while. Might be taking just a bit. Come back and get it. Come on. There we go. So this is the infamous dick-headed alien that I created. So you can see he moves, he animates. I'm gonna just you can see the jerkiness. My frames are going up frames are going down because this is insane. So door doesn't open. No, can't get in. Like I said, this particular model is roughly 8 million polygons. So, and you can see the amount of other stuff I've got in the game, and they're quite high definition. So conduit count. So 1. Yeah, we got 1, and it disappeared. That's good. You see the conduit count there. It's not quite in the right position, but so we go. Run on them. Get the other one. The fact that there's bits hanging off that door that they don't line up, that's the detailing on it. That is one of the issues. So conduit count 2, that's one of the issues that I saw that I left in for the alpha build, but bugged the hell out of me every time I went near that door. So I was quite happy to be able to fix that. And we go find the third one, conduits 3. So I've now got 3 conduits. Go back to the airlock. And boom. And then we go in here and we'll have a little trigger for an end state, a windscreen, that kind of thing. But it works. That works cool. So that is it for this one. So hopefully you enjoyed it. You can see how it's all coming together. And we're going to get into more cool, fun stuff as we go. As it grows, more stuff can be added in, and we can have a lot of fun with it. So if you like the video, hit the like button. Consider sharing it with anyone who might also find this kind of stuff fun, and subscribe. Hit the notification icon bell thing so that you can be kept up to date with everything that I'm doing, which is a lot coming up. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you next time.